Ariel Helwani in New York City following the UFC and Reebok press conference alongside the UFC middleweight champion Chris Weidman, who brought backup today. You were up there looking good. They call you out, but poor John Vellante in the corner. I mean, what is that? Is he your bodyguard or something?
I brought a coat today, and I brought my belt, and I needed somebody to carry them for me, so got to bring Vellante.
So you're the first fighter that we're talking to after this big announcement. Essentially, it's like a uniform deal, apparel deal between Reebok and the UFC. What do you make of it?
You know, at first, when you first just hear about it, it kind of, you know, it's like you start worrying you're going to be losing money and stuff. But then when you find out all the details about it, I think you get excited because you're finally aligned up with a world-renowned apparel company in Reebok. It's going to, you know, help our sport be more mainstream and be taken more seriously, especially in the United States and worldwide. But I'm excited. You know, I'm excited. There's a lot less to worry about when it comes down to sponsorships for a fight. You know, it's going to be clean, cut, and dry. You know what you're getting if you're based on where you rank. I do like that there's incentives. You know, so I want to be champion forever for another reason. You know, so and this guy's going to, you know, want to squeeze in that top 10 even more in top 5. So I like that incentive, and I also like. I've never even heard of getting a 20% on the royalties before, like, you know, with any other apparel deal. So that's actually pretty generous, and I think that works good, especially if you could, you know, have some people buy your stuff. You know, it's pretty cool that, you know, it's going to be like, you know, more professional. You walk into the locker room, your stuff's already ironed for you. It's tailored for you. It's going to be all made for MMA. I guess they're working a lot on technology and to make everything fit the right way and feel the right way and look the right way.
So you are synonymous with the Bad Boy brand, right? I mean, that's been your sponsor for a long time. Yeah. What becomes of your relationship with Bad Boy?
I don't know. I honestly didn't know about this. So I found out late last night. I knew I was doing a press conference. I knew it was something to do with an apparel brand thing, but I didn't find out. Dana called me 2 days ago. I called him back. We missed each other. So I didn't find out what was really happening until this morning, really. We got an email, very confidential email. You were not a part of it. And I'm sorry to hear that. And then I found out there, and then, you know, reading through it, I'm like, wow. So I haven't had a chance to talk with Bad Boy. I've told Lorenzo and them I feel bad, you know, so out of nowhere, you know, for about 3-4 years, I've been with Bad Boy and synonymous with it. And then to come out and support another brand right away is definitely weird for me, and I feel bad. But you know, I fight for the UFC. I'm a company guy, and I think this really is like a great step for the UFC and Reebok. And also, I think they're not going to be taking away you know, other apparel brands out completely. So out of the cage type stuff, I could probably do stuff with Bad Boy.
I'm hopeful of doing that. Did you want to stay with?
Yeah, I'm hopeful. You know, stay with Bad Boy. I'm going to be with Reebok inside the cage. But it's going to be starting in July, so my next fight, I'm hopefully could still be with Bad Boy. Are
you worried at all?
This is all very new. I mean, literally,
you're kind of digesting it right now.
Digesting it right now. There's still a lot to learn. There's a lot of details in there. I've read some of the fact sheets. It's very long. You know, it was like 4 or 5 pages, which is long for me.
Remind you of high school.
Did you guys get those fact sheets?
Not yet.
Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of details. And I think they're doing the right thing, you know, as far as, you know, they're taking on this new apparel company. It's a big adjustment for a lot of UFC fighters who are getting paid monthlies and different things from sponsorships and depend on that for a livelihood. You know, I'm champion, and I could cry about that. I'm going to be losing some money. Hopefully not, but we'll see. But then when you find out that all the revenue from their deal with Reebok is going to go towards the fighters, you become a little bit more optimistic that it's going to be, you know, the right thing's going to be done.
Does this take a load off? Like, were you stressed out about getting sponsors? I know you have a team that does this, but I had heard that the sponsorship game had dried out a little bit. So does this take a load off in a sense?
Sponsorship definitely, I think, has fallen off a little bit inside the cage. You know, there was the licensing things. You had to pay license agreements, so it kind of broke it down to a little less competitive. You know, there's a lot less people putting companies and putting money into fighters because you had to pay a big piece to the UFC as well. But when I was first starting and when I was on the own cards and beginning to be on the main card, sponsorship was a huge deal. It was very stressful to find out how much money I was going to be making and how to make ends meet. I'm at the point now where I don't completely sponsorship money isn't the biggest thing on my plate. But, you know, I can sit here and complain about it, but I know there's other people that depend on it way more than me.
So okay, so you have this fight coming up on February 28th. You can keep your same sponsors. Are you afraid some of them will jump ship because they know long term they're not going to be a part of you anymore as far as in the cage?
I don't know how anybody's going to take this.
It's all very new.
It's all very new. I haven't spoken to anybody at all. No manager knows this. There's like a lot of things up in the air now. Like, yeah, what a manager's going to do?
Sure.
You know what? There's no manager to get all your clothes ready,
right.
and go out and get sponsorships and work for you and make sure the sponsors on your shorts. Like, that's completely out. That was a big part of their job. That was pretty much the biggest job. You know, so it's a big game changer for a lot of people, not just for fighters.
By the way, how about that press conference a couple weeks ago in Vegas? The stare down, Vitor holding up a T-shirt, some subtle jabs about the talk, the tweets, and whatnot. What did you make of that whole scene?
You know, he kind of caught me off guard, and the stare down stuff is normal. When he put up the shirt, I didn't know what it was saying. It could have said the worst things about me or the best things about me. I didn't know, but I was just like, all right, yo, what are you doing? Let's get the stare down done. And Dana was like, all right, let's go, stare down. So I think he was irritated by his little thing too, but there's stare down. But there was one thing at the press conference that I wish I would have said. You know, he tries to, be Mr. High and Almighty, and he doesn't talk trash. That's what he started with. You know, arrogance will kill you, or whatever. Or pride will be your fall. He's going with that whole thing, and then, but he was the one who started talking trash to me first. He's the one who started saying that I'm just faking my hand injury because I just want to enjoy it with my family for Christmas, enjoy the belt with my family on Christmas, and so he kind of started up, and then I started coming back at him with the juice head comments. And the next thing I know it, now pride's gonna kill me, but
That's a real rivalry.
I'm very grounded. I'm taking him very, very seriously. Not taking him lightly at all. As much as what I say or what other people are saying, I'm expecting a really tough Vitor. I think I'm expecting the best ever.
And you're getting drug tested. How about that?
Yeah, I'm getting drug tested for the first.
He's getting drug tested in Nevada, California.
Never been randomly drug tested in my life. I don't think I've ever been. I've been in college and stuff like that. I was randomly drug tested, but in UFC, I wasn't actually randomly drug tested. I think I might have been the only. You tell me, Mr. Reporter, but how many times has anybody been drug tested outside of camp? Like
that's happened.
Out of camp, drug testing of somebody that's never failed a drug test before?
Well, I don't know the numbers off the top, but I know people have been tested. And when did camp start? I mean, hasn't it started already?
No, my camp doesn't start till.
How do they know exactly when your camp starts? But yes, that is pretty significant.
You agree with me yet, but we'll see.
I mean, this fight has been talked about for so long. I feel like it's been, several months in the making. In fact, you were supposed to fight this weekend.
The drug test thing was great. I was like, when they called me and told me I had to get drug tested, I was pumped. I was like, you know what, this is great for the sport. It's going in the right direction. But then they apologized, but they had me drive 2 hours all the way to Jamaica, Queens, in traffic in rush hour, get there early in the morning. And then I sat there for an hour. And they called me up. They had my name. I signed my name. I go up there, and they were like, "Oh, we can't do this here," because they wanted me to get observed taking a piss. Yeah. And Jamaica and the facility in Jamaica was one of the only places that did that. So I drove all the way out there, wasted 3 hours, and I had to drive an hour and a half back to my house and wait for them to tell me another facility right by my house. So it was annoying. It wasted my whole day. But altogether, it was good. And I'm happy. And that was LA, by the way, California, that drug tested me. And I think they're doing the right thing. I like that I'm being drug tested. I just hope it's starting to go on to other people. I don't know if I got drug tested because I'm fighting Vitor or because I've been kind of making a stink about him. Right. I don't really know why, but I think it's good. I just hope it's kind of going everywhere.
Thank you for the time, Chris. Yeah. I'm sure we'll talk to you before the February 28th date, but if not, good luck in the fight.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.